Oh!
Okay guys, so in today's video I've got an exciting one for you. If you're anything like me and you do RC crawling, you've probably wanted or wanting a trailer at some point. But the thing is, all the options out there, I don't think they're that great, and also they're very expensive. I probably got about £40 into this build. I did already have the tyres, so you could add that in if you don't have any, but they're just cheap 1.9 tyres. This is all aluminium angle that you can get from your local DIY store. And also I got this wood from there as well. The only thing that I had to buy online were these mudguard pieces because they're quite a wide piece of aluminium. But yeah, really simple design. I have copied a couple of other guys or taken some inspiration from other guys on YouTube, but it's got full articulation, performs really well, can tow a lot of weight. And yeah, it's a really, really cool build. And hopefully you guys can get some inspiration from this and build your very own trailer. Right, here we go. We've got my materials here ready to go. So what we've got three pieces of 15 by 15 by 1.5 angle. That's going to be for the main trailer and also the tongue. We've got some C-channel 15 by 15 again. This is going to be for the axles. We've got the axle here, which is M5 bar. We've got some M5 washers and nuts over there. This strap is going to be to go across the middle of the trailer to make the standoffs for the actual wheel arches. And then we've got some self-tappers, some self-tapping eyelets, and then the wood that we're using is just really cheap wood. It's 38 by 19 by 2.4 meters, so we're going to cut out 8 pieces of that. So the trailer is going to be 55 centimeters long. Width-wise, it's going to be 8 strips of this stuff. So we're going to cut these down. Okay, that's 4 pieces cut. Get the next one. Idiot. Oh my god. That's why you need to measure twice, cut once. There we go, that's the kind of rough shape. So it's 55 long by about 31 width, which is quite a nice width and length for the truck. This is a full 313mm wheelbase crawler. But this should fit most tent scales on there, or smaller tent scales at least. But I didn't want to make it too big because I really want to make it as light as possible, so it's just a bit easier to tow. But we'll get these bits of wood chamfered up and glued together now. So that's all we want to do really, just put a little chamfer on the edge, so when you butt the pieces of wood together it more looks like planks. It just looks a little bit less square and a bit more sort of realistic. That sun is really bright, lovely day today. But yeah, a lot easier if you've got a palm sander, but we'll get the rest of these knocked out. Cool when you come back to it and it's all fully cured together and stuff. Right, there we go. I've got it all clamped down. I've got the battery sitting on top of it just so it doesn't bow, because all the bits of wood, they're not perfect as you can see, but they're as flat as they're going to get. Right, so we skipped ahead a little bit here. So I've gotten all this sanded up nice, and I've got my 45-degree angle cut marked there. So I've left a little bit spare over here because the length of these, we're going to need 2 of them. So one going here, and one going like there and there. So we need a little bit extra, so we can just lop this bit off at the bottom, bend that round, and then we can screw them together. Right, so got the aluminium frame all done. I did actually mess up the cuts.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So I've got a join here, and then a join over just there. And I've used just some little rivets to put those pieces of metal together, and it looks really good actually. The frame is not fixed in yet, but that's what it looks like on the underneath. What I'm going to do now is pilot drill some holes for the screws to secure the bed in, but I won't screw it in yet because I want to get this finished in a different colour. So I'll probably weather it a little bit and then lacquer it. So I'll get these holes drilled so then we can get the screws in at a later date, and then we'll start working on building the tongue of the trailer, so the bit that goes out the front, and then also the axle standoffs as well, and then get the axles situated. But yeah, let's keep it moving. There we go, so I've got the holes all drilled there. They're 4mm holes, and then I countersunk them. I've just stuck this screw in just to see how flush it is, and it's nice and flush. I've got them top and bottom. I'm not going to do any up the sides just yet because I've got to do the axle placement, and also I've got to place the tongue, which is going to run here and then curve inwards. So I'll leave some screws out of here for now, but I will put some screws up the side to strengthen that up. But it's looking really tidy actually. Right, there we go. That's the tongue pretty much done. That was quite a few hours work. I didn't film much because there was a lot of sort of measuring angles and stuff. I ended up lining up the trailer with this straight edge here. I know this edge is straight, and then I marked the center line of the trailer, and then I've ensured that these two angles meet. Here it's quite difficult if you do this route because you've got to cut out the perfect sort of size and angle to fit this in. Basically, the advantage of having this design is you can have multiple holes up here with the bolt coming out with the rod end on the end, so then you can set the height of the trailer if you're using different cars, so that's actually quite useful. I have attached these bits with M3 screws and nylock nuts just so it's a bit more secure. I didn't want to rivet it because this is obviously holding all the weight, and we've got enough screws on there, which is good. So the next stage is going to be to line up the axle, cut out the axle supports and get the bars going across, and then get the axle set up. Right, so I'm just mocking things up here. I've got these wheels and tyres. They're plastic, nice and light, so that's what you want. They're a 1.9. I'm thinking that's about the ride height I'm going for. And I've cut these out. These are going to be basically the parts that actually connect the axle together, and they'll be like this. So when it's going along, it will have a nice chamfered edge so it can slide nice and easily. But they'll go on the back side of these wheels, and then I'm going to have another axle in the middle going through onto the like axle standoff, so this can swing. I'm copying the design of a couple of other people that have made these sorts of trailers. So next bit is going to be to make the little bracket coming off here so we can get these wheels mounted. Right, so we're a bit further along now. I've made these little L brackets. So these are what is going to mount on the actual trailer chassis in between that gap there. And then that bolt hole is going to go through, and then this sort of axle is going to be able to actually pivot, which is going to be good. This is out of 3mm aluminium, so nice and thick and sturdy. Took a while to sort of fabricate them, but they're all done. Got a little addition to the garage here. Picked this up this morning, 40 quid, not too bad. Coming in actually quite handy. It's going to be coming in really handy with a future project that's coming. We're going to get these things bolted up now. There we go. They're both bolted on there. I've got to nip this down, obviously, it's way too long, but I'm just going to measure it and cut it. But those pivots allow the axle to actually move like this, and the flex in the bar, they can move a little bit independently, which is cool. Right, so we've finally got my material in. This is 50mm wide by 1.5 thick. We're actually going to be using this thin strip of aluminium, and we're just going to be putting a simple L bracket coming off here and riveting it to the wing. Right, so there's probably some measurement or something that makes you get the bend in the exact same place, but all I'm going to do, I'm just going to obviously lay this on here. I'm going to match it. There we go. That's why you want a thin bit of aluminium, not only for the lightness but for the pliability. That's where I'm going to make my bend. We're pretty much bang on there. I'm really happy with that. That would be decent. Obviously get this other long bit trimmed off, and then we'll work out making the little L brackets and getting these riveted on. There we go, there's the wheel arch all riveted on. That looks really cool with all the rivets there actually. Really happy with that. It's got plenty of clearance, so it hits the chassis before it hits the actual wheel arch, which is good. So just copy paste on the other side, and then we'll get on to probably fixing that hitch into place at the front. Right, so another new day. I've got on the correct hardware all along here, so all nicely countersunk, and the proper length screws, so we've got proper engagement on the back, which is great. I've just actually mounted up the tongue, and also this is just an M4, well this is an M3 ball, but it's got an M4 thread inside, so nice and solid. I've double nutted it here, but I know I said I was going to epoxy it, but what I think I'm actually going to do is I'm going to run a strap from here down to about there, and same on the other side, just to stop it from wanting to pivot like that. Obviously if I epoxied it I wouldn't be able to really get it apart easily, so I think that this is going to be the best option. It'll be a nice simple bracket just going down to there, so we'll get that made up now. Right, there we go, that is the tongue supports done, all nice and symmetrical, very simple. Just a couple of pieces of those thin flat bar aluminium. That's going to keep it really solid now. Well, here we have it in its all its glory. So we've got the ram on the back here. I did actually have to drill an extra hole right at the bottom there just because the FTX sits a little bit lower. But that looks really nice. As you can see, the trailer's got a slightly tilted up position, which is fine. All I've got to do is basically seal the bed and screw it on, and that's it.
Bit better, isn't it?
Yeah, that's better.
Right.
So we're weathering the trailer deck now, and we're at the Mad RCer's house.
Hi, welcome to the Salvager.
Thanks.
With all his broken cars.
They're not broken.
Nah, well, a couple of them are working, but
Most
yeah.
of them are broken.
Most of them, yeah. So hopefully this doesn't turn out Yo, that actually got some really nice colour on it.
When I wax that, that'll look really, really nice.
8-hour drying time.
Gangus, mate. Gangus, mate. Gangus, mate.
Wow, look at this primo quality stuff. Don't cut yourself. Yeah, we'll just heat it up, mate.
Wait, it's like soaking in.
Yeah, I know. Well, because the surface, we just burnt it.
Oh, nice and thick on there, boy.
The new Sen F450, which has already been run in.
And broken.
Yeah, and broken, but fixed already with what came in the kit.
Old Anakin, mate. When it's spinning, it could essentially fly itself off.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Too much. Out of fuel. Yo! Open it all the way. This is how you prime your engine properly. Whoa, there we go! Yo! Ran out of fuel. know you've seen this before, but this is the finished product at the end of the day. I really enjoyed this build series. It was good fun, and you're going to be seeing it in some future videos. We're going to be towing some trucks, probably when they get broken. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know if you build your own trailer. But yeah, just simple hand tools was used here. A couple of weekends worth of work and you've got yourself a really nice custom trailer. And obviously you can change the dimensions, you can add stuff, add lights, anything. The possibilities are really endless with this sort of thing. And I think it's really good fun building your own stuff, and it gives you even more satisfaction when you run it. But anyway guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, the usual stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.